Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Hey everyone and welcome back to Is That More Brandon. So I don't think I've posted on this channel or any of my channels for a long time, but I thought I'd come back, do a little comeback video. And yeah, for those of you that either do know or don't know, I'm a Celebrity. Get Me Out of Here is back on ITV, hosted by Ant and Dec, obviously in the heart of Australia. And I thought that I would do daily reviews and weekly reviews of the show to kind of give you an update as to what's going on if you're not able to watch the full show for whatever reason. So without further ado, let's get straight on. So it's quite an interesting cast. Obviously, I have watched the first week now, so I'm kind of doing my 1 week review of week 1, and I'll also do them in separate individual episodes as well. So if you prefer to watch the entire week, then you can obviously watch the weekly review, and if you prefer to watch the dailies, the daily episodes, then you can obviously watch the 7 episodes for each week. So episode 1, right at the beginning of the episode, we found out that obviously the 10 people going into I'm a Celebrity were as follows. So you had an introduction from Oti Mabuse, she's obviously the dancer and judge on Strictly Come Dancing. Talisa Kontostavlos, she's obviously a singer from N-Dubs and also X Factor judge. You had Dean McCulloch, so most people probably wouldn't necessarily know who he is unless they're in the creative world, but he's a Radio 1 DJ, so obviously he spends his time kind of behind a screen, behind a box, so you don't really get to see him. Jane Moore, so she's a loose woman and obviously a journalist. You had Danny Jones, McFly star, so obviously he's in the McFly/Busted kind of boy band. So they were the first 5 that we were introduced to. I think straight away, I mean, obviously Oti Mabuse, very funny, very strong, like individual woman, and you know, she came across really, really well. Talisa, again, looks very different to how she used to look in the past. She's obviously had her troubles in the past and her ups and downs with the music genre world and that sort of thing, but she kind of looked really good. Again, she looked like she was on a mission to kind of, you know, for people that have bad things to say about her, she kind of wanted to just kill that and be like, look, this is my real genuine self and I'm going to kind of show you who I really am. Like, forget about what people say about me or what you see in the newspapers, just take me for who I am. Obviously with Dean, the radio DJ, many people didn't really know who he was, but like I said, he came across really funny. And yeah, for an initial getting to meet him, I think obviously he has quite a strong accent as well, but yeah, he seems really funny. Obviously Jane Moore, lovely like TV presenter, she's a journalist, so she's obviously got quite a lot of interesting knowledge, and you know, she's been on TV and in that kind of world for a long time. And then Danny Jones, the McFly star, again, came across really well, looked really good, seemed quite confident, happy, like a cheeky chappy kind of guy. So yeah, they were the first 5 that we were introduced to. And Ant and Dec then entered the scene, and we found out that all 5 of them would be skydiving, and obviously when they get to the bottom there would be another 5 celebrities waiting for them on the beach, and they'd then have to pick a celebrity to team up with, and obviously then as their pairings race to the end. The winners would obviously get to stay in the leaders lodge, and they'd be exempt from having to do the first trial, so it was kind of all to play for. But before the 5 of them went anywhere, obviously this is I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, so it's not going to just be a get in the plane and go. They had their first kind of trial on land where all of them had to eat, well, they had to drink a blended drink which had bull's penis, fish eye and vomit fruit garnish. So didn't look great, it was very green, very unappetizing, and the order in which they drank the drink was the order in which they were able to skydive out of the plane. So Danny downed it first, Talisa was second, Jane was third. By default, Dean was able to go 4th because obviously Oti spat too much of the drink out, so she ended up coming 5th. And we were then introduced to the 5 other contestants or celebrities who were just obviously on the beach waiting for the rest. So you had Barry McGuigan, so boxer champion. You had GK Barry, otherwise known as Grace, so she's probably the one that the younger people are going to be able to relate to, but she's a podcaster, content creator. Alan Housel, so Coronation Street star. Melvin O'Doom, TV presenter and DJ. And finally Colleen Rooney, TV personality, aka Wayne Rooney's wife. So again, another 5 interesting characters. Obviously Barry McGuigan, boxing champion, featherweight, you know, everyone knows him in that kind of creative world, but I'm presuming he doesn't really do that anymore. But yeah, he obviously again would have a lot of stories from that kind of world. GK Barry or Grace, so again, like I said, she's a young content creator. I think she's about 21, 22, so she has her own podcast, YouTube channels. Obviously she's quite funny all over TikTok, kind of blew up throughout COVID and things, a lot of the content creators and digital creators in that world blew up. She's got a lot of creative friends. She's friends with a lot of famous people and celebrities. But yeah, I think for herself, she does stand on very strong feet. And, you know, she's recently come out as now having a girlfriend. So that was obviously quite new news. She's been on tour. So yeah, definitely one to watch, because she might seem like she's not really done much, but she has achieved quite a lot for such a young age. But yeah, it definitely will give her a bit of a platform to be able to do more things after the show. Alan from Coronation Street, again, I think his character's name is Tyrone, if I'm not mistaken. But again, he came across as a really nice, again, cheeky chappy kind of lad. Melvin, TV presenter and DJ. I think he's a Kiss. And then obviously at this point, Grace was kind of like, well, hold up, I'm a little bit outnumbered here. You've got 3 blokes and me, so need a bit of lady to come in. And obviously that's when Colleen and Rooney came in. So obviously Danny was the first one to land. He picked Barry McGuigan. They were Team Orange. Talisa picked Alan. They were Team Red. Jane obviously went with GK or Grace, because obviously they both present on Loose Women. They've just never been on the same panel, but they were in Team Green. Dean obviously only had the choice between Colleen and Melvin, but he decided to go for Colleen because he absolutely loves Colleen. And obviously, again, he deals with loads of celebrities and musicians and artists and stuff, and he was just like, I just absolutely love Colleen, so I'm going for her. And then Oti was the final one to come down. She chose Melvin. They were Team Pink. And obviously with the other 4 teams, they had like a 4x4 Range Rover, so they all got in that. And obviously with Oti and Melvin, there was no car left, so they were already out of the competition and they had to walk to camp. For the other 4 pairs, there was then a key to unlock a boat, and they basically had to, one of them was standing by the lock and one of them was having to dig for keys and this kind of putting their hands in a thing. And yeah, Talisa and Alan were the first ones that managed to find the correct key. Dean and Colleen did find a key, but they actually capsized. There was a hole in the boat, so Dean had a massive suggestion of putting like a jacket or a scarf in the hole to kind of cover the hole, and it did work temporarily. And then obviously Danny and Barry, they were able to find a key. And eventually Dean and Colleen did manage to get their boat going again, but they did capsize again. Jane and Grace, or GK, were out of the competition, so the both of them had to obviously just walk to camp. And then obviously with the final 3 couples, well actually Dean and Colleen were out as well actually, so you only had Talisa, Alan and Danny and Barry left. So yeah, they obviously had to kind of like race in their boats to this floating thing in the middle of the river, and they had to put their hand in a box, and on one side of the box was like a rope with a key, and they had to kind of just move that from one side of the box to the other. It was a box filled with green ants, and then they just had to unlock the box in order to win. Talisa and Alan won, and that meant they were exempt from the first trial. So we then found out the second trial was going to be called the Viral Volcano, and yeah, weren't really sure what that was all about, but yeah, they kind of just gave us a little heads up as to what that would be. Basically just going into some sort of volcano, obviously not being on your own, having to unlock certain stars. For the first trial, it was up to Talisa and Alan to choose which of the pairs were going to complete this trial, and it was called the Mausoleum of Misery. Mausoleum of Misery, or Mausoleum of Misery. And they just both kind of agreed that, you know, they want people that they think are going to do well at the trials or the tasks, so they chose Danny and Barry as the first pair to do the first trial. Jane got the nickname Jungle Jane the Firestarter, and yeah, she obviously kind of came to terms with the trial as being something to do with under burials, something underground. Colleen was talking about Wayne Rooney to Oti, Jane and Grace. Yeah, they were kind of aiming, I think Danny basically ended up getting the 5 out of the 10 stars, and yeah, Barry wasn't really doing very well. They basically were obviously locked underground, and each of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars and locks had just random numbers on the floor. They had to just put the random numbers into any of the locks to try and unlock them. Danny was getting through them quite quick. They were covered with snakes, and yeah, Barry wasn't able to kind of either hear the numbers and also put the numbers in the right lock, so he was struggling, he couldn't really see. Obviously for their first meal they had kangaroo. Grace kind of just said, and kangaroo bun was her welcome to camp, and Talisa said that obviously she kind of just naturally fell into the role of camp chef. Lots of pressure, but someone has to do it, someone has to step forward, and she just kind of fell into that role. And then, yeah, for trial 2, we found out it was either going to be Dean or GK facing the trial. The public had voted for GK to do it, and she basically just said, well, what does the whole volcano part mean? Like, what does that mean? So, yeah, she wasn't really sure what she was doing. But, yeah, GK was obviously doing the first trial. So that's kind of it for episode 1. So if you did enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. If you are continuing, then I will go straight into episode 2. But until my next video, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye bye.